All right, we are recording live on digital, or however you want to say it. Welcome to Big Scott 35 tonight. I told you that I would have him on. I'm so happy to finally have this man on our channel. With us is ThoseBackPages, everybody's friend, and Nats Man is with me tonight. Welcome to Big Scott 35.
So glad to be here, fellas. Really excited for this episode.
Yeah,
Skynet in effect. Let's do this.
yeah. So we're recording this earlier in the week to fit in everybody's schedule, and also we're going to be airing this on Father's Day, so we would have something for everyone to watch at night. Hopefully, with your fathers that could also like and
Yeah.
subscribe while they're watching. Um,
Happy Father's Day.
Happy
Happy
Father's Day.
Father's Day.
That's
Yes.
right. I am trying to get to that 500 mark. I am inching up to it.
One at a
And
time.
also, and I haven't mentioned this either. And why? What else? I've been doing this a little over. I missed the mark, and I didn't tell anybody. A little over 4 years now. So it's been
All
fun,
right.
having fun doing this and recording memories. I've gone back and looked at some stuff, just like the man told me. I want to tell you this why I got you here, Eric, is like before we get started, there was times where I was ready to be done. Why was I doing this? Blah blah blah. And then it was just like out of magic. It'd be one of those videos you would do and say, "Hey, you're doing this for your memory." So when somebody else comes along and watches it, hey, there's my Uncle Scotty. This is what he liked, or Big Scott,
Exactly.
whatever. And that meant a lot to me. And that's what's got me on. They stay on this trail, and I'm so happy because I've been naming all these series with people, my friends in the hobby, like the road to the national.
Hmm.
And this is something I say, and I hope I don't misspeak or make it more than what it was. But a few years back, I met those back pages. Last year, I feel like I met Eric, and that's what it's about. And I'm really happy to have you here to continue the friendship.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very happy to be here and to expand on what you said a little bit. And off and on I think about it myself as far as making content and stuff like that. You know, and you said you had just passed the 4 year mark, and this reiteration of my channel is going to be 5 in August.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, it doesn't seem like it. And there's ebbs and flows. I mean, there were times, when we all had a lot of free time. Let's put it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a video every day, every other day.
Right.
You get the juices going, you start going, and like I said, ebbs and flows. Now I'm probably at about once a week. And it's not for it's a combination of it can be a grind, but you don't want to just make content for the sake of making content.
Yes.
Right.
That's where you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't want to start, oh, let me pick this up so I can make a video about it. That's You're going to go in the wrong direction that way.
Right.
But it comes and goes, and I'm really looking forward to this episode. We're going to touch on a lot of topics that I'm fairly passionate about. So
Just
Yeah.
one quick thing,
Go ahead.
Eric had been on my channel before, and thank you.
yeah,
But I think one of the best things that happened was about 4 weeks ago. Scott has allowed me to jump on his channel here on Sunday nights, and it was Don's Field of Dreams. What
oh, Don,
specifically said he was watching our video, and you related to him about what you just said,
I
and that's
remember
why.
that. Yes,
And I was you can tell my reaction. Scott probably, I was, if you haven't watched that video, Eric, go watch it.
I
Uh,
know I watched it.
yeah, I was just like, just wow,
Yeah, I
that's
mean
an
it,
impact.
and
That's
and
hobby.
and and Don has actually mentioned that on his channel as well.
Yes, yeah. So it was
Yeah,
like hobby. the hobby is not dead, people.
No,
That's right.
the hobby is never going to die.
It's never going to. You're always somebody's going to be collecting something of that.
It's funny because you say that because people, oh, the hobby's dead. The hobby, everything is crashing. And if I can go off on a small tangent, if you don't mind,
No,
Please.
go right ahead.
In this hobby, in this thing we do called hobby, we can only speak for ourselves. And at least for myself, I'm not seeing, this super downturn and what I want. And maybe it's because it's what I want to buy that's not going down. But, I think as collectors and, the three of us have been doing this for a long time, and anyone who's listening tonight, if you've done this before the year 2020, you know that things go up, things go down. Nothing goes up and to the right on the graph at all times. That's just not logistics. It just doesn't work that way in real life. Now, having said that, and I've mentioned this before on my channel too, that I get something. All right, I want to get this. I work towards it. I get it. All right, I have this. Now what?
Mhm.
Next thing. I tend not to go, once I own something I want to own, I tend not to go back and fret or overanalyze or worry about, oh, now it's 50% less than I paid, or now it's 50% more than I paid. I want to own that item, whatever it may be. We all collect various things. So I want to own that item. So now on to the next thing. So I'm not oblivious. I know, the market's not like it was, a year and a half ago. I'm not, like I said, I'm not oblivious to that. But it yes and no, it really doesn't affect me. Like, all right, pick any player you want. And for the most part, I collect all the sports. Baseball, it always comes back to baseball, but I do collect all the sports for the most part. Hockey's really tailed off. I haven't gotten anything since I picked up I have a McDavid Young Guns that I picked up 5 or 6 years ago. So I haven't really picked up anything since then. Like, I should have gotten a Matthews. I just never did. But, I've been a Young Guns fan since 1990. And so, yeah, we march on. We keep collecting. And we're always, and that's the thing. People are, I'm so disgruntled with all this new stuff. Guess what? There's always something to collect. You're never going to own everything. And you're always finding new venues to collect.
Yes, that's a really good point, because who would have thought 2 years ago that the DC cards, Marvel cards, and all that would be booming? Who would have thought?
Not me.
No. Who would have thought Star Wars was booming again?
Yeah, I always thought me and my Star Wars collection, I was in a safe lane where that was kind of always there for me. So
yeah, especially the blue series, the first series.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Luke Skywalker card #1 took off, and
yeah,
it was over.
I felt fortunate now that I found, was it the last show before the pandemic, national. I picked up the Stormtrooper in a PSA 10. And I got it, and I felt like, like I got it cheap. That I thought I knew it wouldn't. I probably got a good buy on that, but
nice. So now you certainly did. Now,
but I love Stormtroopers, so
he tried cleaning me out.
He had all the what was it, the atomics from the galaxy. So so I was picking up the ones with the Stormtroopers and Darth Vader. I've kind of really turned hard into the Star Wars during the pandemic too, but
you need to get your O-Pee-Chee versions.
Yeah, I would. Sharif, I would love that. Talked to Peachy a little bit in the last show with with my Canadian friend.
Yeah, O-Pee-Chee Star Wars is amazing,
Yeah.
and O-Pee-Chee MLB is amazing.
Uh, yes, and I got quite a few of that because of being a Gary Carter collector.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
in
his rookie, he has
Montreal.
the O-Pee-Chee rookie, so
Yeah. That I haven't got that one yet, but
oh.
I want it.
And he's got all those 92 tributes from 92 O-Pee-Chee.
Yes, and that's kind of I love some O-Pee-Chee. I got don't worry, I got some O-Pee-Chee
Nice.
picking up to do.
No, but
That's another reason.
like I just mentioned a few minutes ago, there's always something.
Yeah,
Don't get me started with Star Wars and O-Pee-Chee, guys. Don't. It's a bitter lane. It's a bitter lane.
So, like I was saying, a lot of stuff going on this week in the hobby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Like I was saying before, I was so really interrupted by my
Skynet
hour. Yeah, it's PSA. They know I was right to talk about them. They control everything.
Nice.
So I know you don't grade a lot. You usually pick it up already graded. You cry, I buy. Greatest one-liner going right now.
Yes, sir.
You should be selling it on a T-shirt at the show.
Bumper stickers.
Yeah, everybody's
here's a spoiler alert for anyone who's listening. I already have a T-shirt made up. So.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I knew you were going to make some because you kind of already alluded to it a little bit.
Yeah, I had to, man. I had to.
Yeah, but
I made 2 separate shirts. That's all I'll say.
Oh, I hope you're bringing some of those other ones from.
No, I don't have
19.
19. Yeah, I don't have those anymore.
Oh, remember, you know,
the show was in Chicago and I had to fly, so it's either bring home wax or bring home the shirts. So the wax won.
I had to do the same thing. So like, I left a little a stool that you could connect to your backpack.
Right.
So I left that in a poster that got all damaged.
Yeah, you only have so much space in your luggage, you know.
That's right.
I can't believe they don't have a FedEx or a UPS there at the other convention centers.
They did.
At Chicago, they did?
I thought they did in the
Cleveland. I know they did.
I'm thinking of Cleveland, right by the food court. Yeah, they had that room.
Right over there by the
where the room was. They had their own. UPS had their own room, like glass walls and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna do. I may actually ship some stuff.
Hopefully, now that IX Center is open again, hopefully they'll.
Yeah, I love to have it
get back in the rotation. I mean,
yeah,
the convention center for the IX Convention Center is amazing. The only issue is that everything is 20 minutes away by car. You know, that's something I honestly, maybe is it too early to do show talk or should we wait?
No, go ahead. That's what I said. Well, wherever the road leads us, man.
But I would not be bothered at all if it was in Chicago every year. Yeah. I would not be bothered.
I have not been to Atlantic City show yet.
I went to the one in 2016. That was the last one they had there.
Right.
I mean,
what's parking like? What's parking like?
I can't remember what parking was like because I walked it was a few blocks away. I walked, but I honestly can't. But the convention center itself was just fine.
Right.
And it's funny. The whole dynamic is kind of funny because you've got a few different groups of people with different mindsets. Oh, it's in Atlantic City. It's going to suck. Oh, everyone's going to gamble all their money away. Oh, everybody's going to get mugged. I mean, all these different. Honestly, these things can happen anywhere. So you can't really do that.
Chicago has gambling places.
Right.
Goes to that.
Right. Now there's a casino a few blocks away.
Right.
So the thing, like they had it in 16, right? And then 17 was back in Chicago. 18 was in Cleveland. 19 was in Chicago. 20 was going to be in Atlantic City. Now,
Right.
you went to 19, right, Scott? That's
Yes.
that when we first met at 19, I think.
Yes, sir. Yep.
And it was huge. Like
Mhm.
from the jump from 18 to 19 in attendance and overall, uh, I hate the word vibe. Atmosphere is the word I want to use. The
Right.
overall atmosphere was fantastic. So, there were some people, oh, it's going to be in Atlantic City next year. I'm probably not going to go, and this and that. But for the most people I knew were really excited. So it was going to be interesting to see where it would have gone in 2020 if we didn't have the last 2 years of what we've had.
Right.
So, and the the last 2 years of what we've had, no one saw this happening with cards.
Right.
I don't know anyone directly, but I have friends that had friends that sold everything in the beginning of 2020. They completely got rid of their collections. They're like, "Oh, cards are going to tank. I'm getting rid of everything." Whoops.
Nope.
Whoops.
And I'm sure you're with me. Who cares if they take? I still want my cards.
Right. Well, I mean, some of those people were more of the dollar
Right.
driven mindset, but
Yeah. Yeah.
They
That's like
forgot. They forgot.
the housing crash. I know somebody that just left his house.
wow.
Just left it. I was like, what?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was to me. It was common sense. I remember because that's when I started doing videos,
Mm.
and I was like, I heard that same chatter. Everybody's going to sell all this and that, and I'm like,
You're hearing that again now, by the way.
and it's like, well, people are going to be at home. They have the internet. They're going to get bored with TV and Netflix. What do? You go on eBay. It don't matter, or
Yeah.
Amazon. So I figured it was going to bump up. It's going to be interesting. I know we discussed before coming on, and we'll go down that road, but there's some stupid stuff going on. People dumping stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
just,
don't.
Yeah. There's people dumping, and to touch on what Eric said earlier about the pricing. I just think it depends on what you're looking for because I've been getting some offers now, some Pino Alonso stuff I've been watching, and a dude dropped $100 on one,
Wow.
and it still was overpriced. But
Which is scary
I,
because he's doing so well now. So
what's that?
because he's doing well now, you would think that would hedge against some of the
Right.
got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of it.
Yeah, but I have been noticing some of the stuff is going down some, not like crazy like that. I just think the guy's in a decline.
well, Trout's going back up after his couple of home runs. I mean,
Yeah, he had 2 homers yesterday. Today, as we're recording this today, he announced to the world on ESPN that he is now collecting baseball cards.
oh
Oh
my
Lord.
God.
Yeah, he announced that tonight they had him mic'd up during the game, and he said, hey, "I'm collecting baseball cards for my son, putting together a collection for him."
Wow, can
Wow.
you imagine what kind of collection?
Yeah.
If he only says they're all of me, and they're all.
Well, I don't think they're all just him, but
I know,
I think he has a pretty good card budget. So
yeah.
What do you think that, guys, then you two, what do you think that could potentially happen this week? Any impact on the hobby?
oh, of him saying that,
Yeah.
probably not. I mean, I think it adds to the what's the word? I'm not cool factor, but not acceptance, but there's some foreign phrase I can't think of.
Well, you got to imagine, yeah, baseball cards have gotten bigger,
Oh,
but there's
sure.
still a large majority of the people watching the games don't collect baseball cards.
No, and that's true.
And
But what
so
I'm saying,
says,
it's becoming more. Let's put it this way: it's becoming less geeky, I guess,
Mhm.
right,
or
yeah.
dorky, Like, because you think about it now, we've got Trout collecting. Giannis is a big collector.
Cosmopolitan.
I don't collect that magazine, no.
No, I think the phrase you were looking for is become chic, like
Yeah,
chic
that's
cosmopolitan.
True,
Yeah.
I just there's a lot of, you know, and some of the players are starting. It's not starting to have YouTube channels and stuff outside of retired ones, or
Right.
So.
And another, like, I don't know how much you guys, obviously you guys follow the hobby, but I don't know how much you follow the non-MLB aspect of it. But, I have a few friends that are not pleased with the way that triple logo man is going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The LeBron triple logo. I think it's great. I'm not buying it, so I don't care. But, when Drake was doing all those breaks with Ken Golden and
Right.
it's just that's all positive in my book. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Right.
There's no such thing as bad exposure. It might not. Honestly, it probably won't mean anything, but it won't hurt. This guy, like when Giannis it was years ago that Giannis, we found out he collected. Remember?
Right.
Yeah.
He had all his cards raw, throwing them on the bed. I mean.
Yeah. And the more that I saw what one of the Ryan brothers at that 2019 show. He was at the end of the day. He was out there walking around, and he had a little box of cards. The coach, Rex
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's right.
Yeah. So he was out there. Had his Jets hat on. He wasn't hiding.
No.
I mean, he can't hide.
No.
but I mean, he was out there purchasing, looking for stuff, and to me, and I mean, I just started not a new job, but at a new location, and when people found out, I collect and all this, it's I don't get made fun of at all.
No,
it's
they don't
the
want.
opposite.
Yeah, you get the opposite. They want you to buy their 88 tops.
No, or I have to know all the knowledge that there is. Especially
they want to put their kids through school in these 88 tops vending cases.
That's right. I got the Greg Jeffries rookie card.
Yeah.
And then one of the guys he does my new supervisor. He does some non-sports, so
nice.
That's kind of cool.
That's gotten a lot bigger too, and not just
and
overall.
Yeah, that is.
It's bound to happen, though. I mean, I think because I've said for longer than I can remember, you got to try to zig when everyone's zagging, or zag when everyone's zigging. You got to, and I think the three of us being at heart being collectors, we're marching forward. We're all right. We've got, the three of us collect Juan Soto. To a certain, to some degree, some more than others. And, I'm not worried about the price of his Topps Chrome update. There you go. Blue chips. There you go. I'm not worried about the price of his Topps Chrome update. I have some. I'm not worried about it. It doesn't, it's going to crash. All right. Well, you know what? One of my biggest mistakes or regrets in 2019, I passed on a Gem Mint Topps Chrome Update refractor because it was $275. That's too much. $275 for Gem Mint. That's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now it's 10 times that.
Yeah. Same boat.
Yeah. So give me the crash, and I can go buy that card now.
Right. Well,
I mean,
you cry, I buy. Let's do it, baby.
That's right.
Let me tell you a little story. Last year at the National, a wise man told me to go ahead and get that Gretzky rookie because today's bargain or today's prices is tomorrow's bargain.
That's right.
So, and you were the wise man that told me that.
Gretzky rookie, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we're probably in the same boat now with Lemieux.
Yeah, I actually picked up the Lemieux before I moved out of Iowa to Carolina.
Nice.
I got an SGC, so I got a little I got a little bit of the SGC break on it, but I don't think the guy selling it actually kind of knew much about it. So
even better for you.
Right. So, oh well. But I got a Lemieux rookie.
Nice.
So
because I mean, you think about it, Orr's out of reach for most people, myself included. Howe, same deal. There's very, hockey is some say in fifth place now or fourth. It's between soccer and hockey. Who's number 4 now in cards? But it's Gretzky. You don't need to know anything about hockey to hear the name Gretzky. Everyone's making this, and rightfully, to a degree, rightfully so, because Ovechkin's making this push for the goals, which is great. But Gretzky also had, I can't even tell you how many assists he had. Wasn't it over 2,000 assists?
I can't remember all the points and everything. Like, I mean, he's the top 2, top 3 in almost every offensive category.
But I mean, if you took away all those goals, I think he still had more points than anyone else.
Probably
somewhere around there. It's mind-boggling, and those things. Not to go off on hockey tangent too much, but the game has changed.
Yes.
I grew up. I grew up in the 80s. And it was 8-5, 10-6. Those were common scores.
Right.
None of this 2-1 crap. 1-0. I like goals. I like home runs. I like goal scoring. That type of thing. So now that we were talking about Juan Soto, and so what do you guys think about like I have my own point of view. If you guys want to go first, how with these suppressed prices, how do you feel about that now?
With why? Well, it's just the knowledge of. Wesker Griff always says that. I don't think the people watch the games; they look at stats.
I agree with that.
So, I think that's what's going on, and it's too much of the stock market look. What's going up today? There's got to be a way to look at it and go, man, this guy is one of the best players we have in the game right now. I don't understand it.
I don't either.
It's just like last year when Trout was hurt, his prices went down.
Right.
Really? This guy wouldn't even have to come back and he'll be in the Hall of Fame.
That's right.
So I don't understand when Acuna was hurt however you say it.
Acuna, yeah.
Yeah, his prices go down. Again,
Tatis.
Yeah.
Tatis is probably the only one would have any concern about. I mean, we were really kind of spoiled the last few years, like 18 and 19. Like, you've got Soto, you've got Acuna, you've got Vlad Jr., you've got even Ohtani. I wouldn't be super concerned about. I'll talk about Ohtani in a minute. But because he's a little bit older, he's going to be 28 next month. But, everyone, like when Adley Rutschman came up, this guy's great. This guy's great. You know what? He's 6 months younger than Juan Soto.
Yeah.
He's 6 months younger than Juan Soto. Juan Soto has a batting title. Juan Soto has a World Series ring. Juan Soto has over 500 hits, over 100. He has 111 homers. He's 23 all season.
Right.
Acuna's 24 all season. Vlad is 23 all season. Get back to me in 4 or 5 years. We'll talk about these guys. I'm not worried about these guys at all right now.
Yeah.
The thing with the thing about Juan Soto is that look at the team he's on this year.
Right. I talked to my dad about how do you get up in the morning and go play a game outside of knowing that you're playing with the AAA team.
Right.
That's got to be tough. And you won a World Series 2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, 19. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, I mean, all your friends are gone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and now you got to remember he's going to have the big contract.
Right.
You know, Acuna already's got his deal. I mean, and so that's going to be even more like Soto's going to get $400-500 million.
Right.
He
You
ain't
know,
gonna be in Washington.
no, it's not going to be in Washington. No,
I think it's gonna be the Mets or the Yankees.
probably go to the Bronx and bunt the ball over the right field fence.
Right.
But you know, I'm not. I see this like you mentioned. It was a good mention before with the stock market mentality, and I see this, you know, on social media, on message boards, people panicking. I'm like,
Right.
these guys are so young. They're playing a man's game. You know, baseball is arguably the most difficult sport to play. You don't have to get into that, but get back to me after the 2026 season. Then we'll discuss how these guys are doing. You cannot stress these things day to day. Now, again, that's me speaking more on the collector mind. If you're invest, all right, then panic. But you know, history has has proved that it all pretty much, as far as collecting goes, it all evens out in the end.
Right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you've got these cards, and that." Yeah, that's fine. I do, but you know, I have a lot of shit too. So sorry, I didn't mean the curse. But
No, that's correct.
Good, bro.
I have a lot of crap too. I mean, it's
Right.
part of the collecting. You know, I have like I don't know if you guys were collecting in the 2006.
Yeah.
You
Not
were,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like
was.
I have a nice Billy Roll collection. Yeah, exactly. That's the reaction. Yeah, Billy Roll was one of the. Turned out to be a head case, but he was one of the Orioles' top draft picks in '06. You know, and
Well, I've got a few of those. Yeah.
Chris Parmalee with the Twins.
Chris Farley. Yeah.
I mean, there's all these guys. You know, oh, what's his name with the
I have
Blue
a
Jays?
ton of Chris Farley.
Yeah, I mean, there's just Travis Schneider. That's his name, Travis Schneider.
Oh yeah.
Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it's part of collecting. Now it's funny because I gave up on prospects. I'm seriously collecting prospects in 2008.
What burned you?
Razor, the Brian Leaf who owns Brian Gray who owns Leaf. Started out with the company. Well, most recently he worked for ProSet back in the 90s, but
Right.
he had a company. He started a company called Razor, and in 2008 they signed all the big prospects, draft picks to exclusive autograph deals, so they couldn't be in Topps Chrome. They couldn't be in Bowman Chrome. So if you look at Hayward and you look at Moustakas and you look at even Laporta and Hosmer, all these guys, they didn't have autographs in '07 draft. They had base cards because they all signed to Razor. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting tired of this prospecting thing anyway. The last prospect back then, before the last few years, I got back into it, but not the autograph shit. But you know, the last autograph prospect I spent $90 on. It was I still have it. It's a BGS 9 refractor, Jesus Montero.
Oh
Yeah,
jeez.
yeah. Jesus Montero, the future great Yankee catcher.
Right.
I paid $90 for it.
Mm.
And I said, this was the last one. I had all the others, non-pitchers. I pretty much every non-pitcher I had from '02 until '08. I have the autograph, either the base card, Alex Gordon, either the refractor, like Ike Davis. I have a refractor. I actually have a true gem, Ike Davis, refractor auto.
The great Met, Ike Davis.
And so, and everyone hears that story like, oh man, you didn't get '09, you didn't get Trout? No, I didn't get Trout. But at the same time, I didn't buy, Gordon Beckham and I would literally get almost every hitter that had a autographed Bowman Chrome. I would buy in a fine 9 or a True Gem slab, and I would do that every year. So while the trout is really expensive, not buying everybody else, also I was able to use those funds to buy a Mantle rookie, to buy a Mays rookie, to buy a Jackie Robinson rookie. I was able to buy all those because I bought all of those pretty much a year or two later because I didn't buy all the prospects.
You're the first person, Eric, I've heard that's in the hobby that's you influence the hobby. You know that in a positive way. You're the first one I've actually heard say exactly that you slabbed, you know, as many of these hitters as you could.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're listening to content out there, you're getting into the hobby, and you're starting to do your due diligence as a collector doing YouTube content. You never hear anybody say that.
No.
It's always the treasure chest at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah, because it's like breaks, like box breaks. Oh, I opened one blaster. I got this super refractor and there's one blaster. You don't talk about the 100 you opened before.
Yeah,
No.
where's that $500 that you spent before that?
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's always about the good stuff, which I understand if depending on one's slant on it, like no one wants to hear about Billy Roll.
Right.
I mean Christian Matheson, not no uh I can picture, I can't, the name escapes me. I was for fun a few days ago I was looking at '06 refractors on eBay, like, oh wow, this is now $5, but back then it was $100
Right.
type of thing. So it was fun to look and have a good time with it. But like I said, it's part of a well-rounded collection. I mean, you know, you have this, you have that, you have rookie card. If you collect, I pride myself. You know, I've always said I have a horrible focus. Ask me. You could say, Eric, what are you going to buy at the National? Well, the National is how many days away now? 50 some odd days or 40 some odd days?
Record.
40,
Yeah.
6 weeks. Let's say 6 weeks. Okay.
It's 6 weeks from the time recording. Yep.
Right. So let's say 6 weeks. I could have a totally different focus in 6 weeks. So I mean, I bounce around. It's good. It's bad. It's indifferent. It is what it is.
Right.
But the one thing I've always prided myself on is my collecting graded rookies.
Mm-hmm.
From all the sports as best I can. Do I have everything? No, but I have a nice amount, and I've done well in that regard. So like I mentioned a few minutes ago, it all washes out in the end. It's all part of the collection. I love my John Stearns rookie as much as I love my Wade Boggs rookie. I mean, it's that it's part of the overall collection.
Right.
You can't. You can have one without the other, but I mean, if you do this long enough, you're going to have both.
That's what's important. Yep.
Yeah, and that's great. I saying some of those names, I'm just having a flashback because we all have stories of people we like. I even have a couple now that I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't have bought some of them that I've gotten.
Sure.
But
everybody has that though.
I'm hoping it hits later and I look like a genius because I think a lot of people gave up on the rookies from the 20 season and 21 a little quick.
You never know.
Right. And those guys, you got to remember they played through something that nobody else has really played through since like World War II type of deal.
But I'm dead serious, man. You're going to have it all over time. Like I have, this is not a brag because it just didn't work out. I have an extensive Jay Bruce collection. I have an extensive McCutcheon collection. I have an extensive Cameron Maben collection. These were guys I thought, they were going to be the crap, and it didn't happen.
Right.
I have probably 3 or 4 Jay Bruce blue refractor rookies. PSA 9, I think PSA 9 and BGS 9 combination, something like that. But it's part of the collecting.
Yeah.
The part of the collecting that I think is so important is, it helps people, take your mind off of real life.
That's
Yep.
that's what it is. It's gotten me in life through a lot of hard times. I've stated it before.
Yeah,
Uh,
collecting and music.
yeah, I can get right back to my cards, and everything else just kind of fades away.
Yeah.
And it's
The
about
we was talking about Soto, and I could not believe it. US 300 PSA 9 for $47 or best offer. Then I started looking at some of the non-traditional rookie cards, the inserts, uh, and then some of the ones that are not, authorized by the MLB.
Panini, yeah, pajama
Yeah,
cards, yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, I cannot believe across the board how much some of the cards they're holding tight. Some of these folks have probably don't drop, but there's a way more people dropping prices than I've even when the last slump he had. I
But
just
I think part of that is not just Soto related. I just think it's the way things are right now.
and why does the shiny stuff take the bigger hit, Eric and Scott? What are y'all's thoughts on that? Why is the shiny product in baseball here in the last year seem like that it goes up first and it comes down first?
Well, I think because it goes up too quickly, it's going to come down too quickly. I mean, it's funny you mentioned the US 300. The US 300. You mentioned that. I have a copy of that. I bought my copy in the winter of 19. So after 18 update was a couple months old and people were greeting. I won a copy from Ricky Probstein. I paid $5. I won it at auction.
Sheesh.
Because that's only a 9. That's garbage.
Right.
Now you got to remember, in 2019, it really was garbage to so many people.
Right.
They were just, and we're getting back there again, which is the driver for me making that shirt and having that slogan. And you said, yeah, I haven't personally graded a card in 5 or 6 years. I couldn't even tell you the last time.
Right.
I let other people do the work. Like, I want to own the card.
Right.
And, I've said it many times on the channel, is I look at grading as the best way to get it's a vessel to get the card from you to me.
Right.
Seller to the buyer. It's in the seller's best interest to say, yeah, this card's mint. And then you get it in the mail and there's a crease in it or there's something you scratch on the back. Oh, just send it back. I'll give you your money back. That's great, but I want the effing card.
Yep.
I mean, you can make more fiat, you can make more money,
Mm-hmm.
but ideally they're not making more of these cards.
Right.
A big what's his name? I think we all follow him on Twitter. Big R Miss or Big Miss, the Juan Soto guy, big collector, and
Oh yeah, I know you.
yeah, I like his saying about he's like, I could care less who graded this. It could be HGA,
Well, let's not get that
ABCD.
far.
He said, but it's the card. I want the card that's in the slab.
Right.
And I think what he was saying it's a vessel. He
Right.
saw the card he wanted, especially if it was like a serial numbered card.
Right.
I want that card. That's the vessel. He's going to crack it. He's going to crack it and take it out.
Yeah, there are people that do that. I mean,
On some of those other brands.
right. I mean, but I think also if, and if you guys have friends over, family over, and they see your cards, and hey, let me check that out. You're gonna hand them a raw card. I know it's in a top loader and a penny sleeve, but you might drop it. But if you hand them a slab with some confidence, here, check it out, and they look at it, and then they probably just give it back right away. But I just think there's just we won't go off on the whole graded, no graded stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I mean it's the way I prefer to collect and have since 2005.
Yeah, I love picking up graded stuff. I also love getting the stuff graded. I open a lot of wax, so it's feels good when I get stuff back that I
Of
graded.
course, I mean there's
just,
really nothing better
yeah,
than a card you pull out of your pack yourself and then you get graded.
like I just graded a Stargell 74, right?
Nice.
I pulled that card right at 3 years old. That was in my collection.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
so it got a 5.5, and people are probably like, "Why would you grade
That's
that?"
pretty good for a card
Yeah,
from '74 that you've owned since then.
right. So that's the reason why I did the same thing with the Winfield rookie, things like that. It's stuff that I have had in my collection since '74. That's when I started. I know at 3 I can't say I started collecting, but that's where the cards started in my collection. So my
Yeah.
dad would buy them, and he would sit there and talk to me about these players, and then put them in a box. But when they were mine. So I that's why I grade that stuff. I just
Yeah.
Protect it. Yeah.
yeah, and it just it's mine. But I do love picking stuff up that I, I've even told you in the past when like I passed on a 10 to get a 9 in my Gary Carter collection just so I could get that gave me enough money to buy 2 more Gary Carters.
But honestly, Scott, that's where my journey started.
Right.
With my graded journey started that way in 2005.
Right.
In 2005, a PSA 10 Griffey was roughly $200, and a PSA 9 Upper Deck Griffey was $50. Now I could afford one or the other, but I said to myself, looking at them, they're not that much different. Now I could spend. So what I wound up doing is taking that $200. I spent the $50 on the PSA 9 Griffey, and then I spent the other $150 on a PSA 9 Ricky Henderson rookie.
Nice.
So I was able to get those both in a 9, or versus buying one of the 10 Griffies.
Right.
Obviously now that worked out because of what a 9 Ricky 9 goes for, probably about the same price. No, not necessarily, but you know what I mean. I mean,
Right.
it stretching the hobby dollar further.
Right.
It's all about the multiplier. If you've got a card in a 10 that's $100, and you've got a card in a 9 that's $20, and you're looking at both of these next to each other, heck, we've all seen examples of the serial numbers are run in order.
Right.
So the person submitted them all at the same time. One of them got a 9, one of them got a 10. One ends in a 6 serial number, one ends in a 7 serial number.
Right.
But one's $100 and one's $20.
Right.
Why would you not buy the $20 one and then use the $80 to buy something else?
Right.
Most of my stuff's in one touches or in those what's the zip case called, Eric?
Defolios.
I started using that. You showed
Yeah.
it, and I started using those.
Those are fun as heck, man.
That's what I was filling up before we started. I had cards over here.
They're fun as heck, man.
I do some insert when I collect insert sets. I like
Yeah.
there. So
But I mean, there's just so many so many different ways you can collect in this hobby, and there is a level for everyone.
That's 100% sure.
You really, if somebody is new and they come up to me and they say, hey, Eric, I've got a young boy. He's showing some interest in collecting, and I'm in New York, so there's, oh, we love the Yankees. All right, Jeter. Collect Jeter. You're never going to get them all. You're never going to be finished. You're never going to run out of something to collect, from 50-cent cards to $50,000 cards. You're going to have some Jeter to buy. And the best thing with Jeter is always going to be in a Yankee uniform. No matter what card you pick, it's going to be Jeter. And you'll never get bored. You'll go broke before you'll get bored. You know? I mean, and depending on this, or MJ, collect MJ then, or collect Tom Brady, or collect, these modern guys that have a shitload of cards,
right?
Literally number of cards to collect, and you're not going to go wrong with those guys,
right?
So you can collect any player, especially now, even with baseball. Oh, my son loves Jackie Robinson. All right. Well, his playing days cards are going to be expensive, but he's got thousands of different cards.
Right.
And now he's probably getting half a dozen or more new ones a year. He gets the top short print variations and all those other things. So
don't forget the 2020s and the 100.
Well, yeah. What I'm just saying is that this hobby is for everyone. So,
right.
You can get priced out easy, but you can also collect easy.
Right. Yeah.
You can, and even when the height of the pandemic stuff, even nines got out of. You remember, even nines were silly. We were buying eights.
Right. I stepped away. I was the sport lot king during that craziness.
Nice.
I was doing that, because you're going person to person. You didn't have to deal with we're shut down for COVID and all that stuff.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice. I could still get some cards. I started really working on my Pete Alonso cards and Don Ross and Optic, the pajama cards.
Love the pajama. So much value in the pajama cards.
I love them.
I've said this before with Acuna.
Right.
At the 19 show.
I remember
I was buying Optic Hollows for $5.
Right.
2018 Optic Hollow, Juan Soto's for $5. I bought a red. I bought a red Optic Hollow Juan Soto at the 19 show for $20. It's numbered to 99 and it's red, like team color red. It says
right.
$20. Give me a break. No, those don't have logos. No logos. Well, guess what, buddy? I don't like the Nationals. I don't like the Braves. So I don't care if it doesn't say Braves or Nationals on it. I like the player.
Right.
Plus the way these guys go now, they're probably not going to be on this team by the time he finishes playing anyway.
Might not even be there by the time you get home.
That's true.
Because let me tell you, here's a little story from last year's National that touches on that very subject. So me on Friday, I run into Stoff on the floor at the National. Me and him talking. Yeah. Me and him talked a lot the night before. Great guy. Me and him was talking. He's like, yeah, I'm looking for Nick Madrigal. Now, this is in the morning on Friday.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's really good. He said he's really high. He loves his White Sox.
He does, yes.
So we were sitting there talking about Nick Madrigal and how he's underrated on that team, blah, blah, blah. I go, oh, you better hurry up because, he'll be traded by the end of today.
The deadline, that's right.
Yeah, so I go and go eat lunch, and I'm sitting there at the bar watching the news feed, and Nick Madrigal got traded to the Cubs. I couldn't text him fast enough.
Probably the worst case scenario for a White Sox fan.
Yeah, I'm
It was a
like,
bad day.
To the
"Sir,
Cubs.
before the
To the
man
Cubs.
can get home."
That's like the Yankees and the Mets making a trade.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on? So I was just like, poor fella.
That was a reverse Eloy situation.
Zambrano. Yeah, Zambrano and Eloy. Right?
Yeah, that
Yep.
was the payback trade. But yeah, that could happen. I saw it last year, so I hope he bought him in a pajamas. So
you guys excited for the show this year?
I am over the moon, excited. Me and Nats man are riding up there together.
Nice.
We got a house with 8 or 10 other people. I don't know.
With Don's crew?
No, it's Bobbles and
Okay, yeah.
and his crew.
Nice.
2 people dropped out, and they asked me and Nats. So
Nice.
we were trying to find a place, and
That worked out.
And yeah, for a week.
Yeah.
Very, very good deal on that.
Nice. How far do you guys live apart now?
45 minutes, Nats.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we already almost the first week I was here, me and him, we talked, of course, online all the time. What, about a year and a half, Nats, before I moved out here. So moved out here, we met each other at the Hickory. That was the first time we met each other
Nice.
in person. So, and of course, I knew it. We hit it off. He's like a brother from another mother for me.
Nice.
He actually reminds me of my kinfolk. So it was it's always a good time.
Nice.
So,
how long is the drive?
8 hours, I think.
8? Yeah, that's me to Cleveland, 8 hours.
Yes, it says like on the map 6 hours to Philadelphia, 8 hours to the house from Philadelphia.
Okay.
And the house is only a mile from the convention center.
Nice. Well, they might be, depending on what time you're going, I guess.
Right. I can't remember what time I looked at the map, and it should be
counting for traffic.
Yeah, so it's not going to be a bad trip.
No, well, you can swap out too.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, are you hoteling it or?
I am, yeah.
With the same guys from last year? Or?
Yeah. Dustin and myself,
Right.
we've been roommates since 2013.
Okay, are you getting another fancy hotel room this year? Or?
No, that was somebody else.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, that was somebody else. That was another one of my friends.
Okay.
That's right. I forgot about that.
The hotel room. I was like, man, this is cribs at the National.
With 2 stories, yeah. That was fun. Well, it was so wild. I had to video it. That's why, because it was so wild. Like I've never seen this before. I gotta put this out on the channel.
Some of it's like we're talking like, how did he get that? How did that get swung? That was
no. It's having it. That's another beautiful aspect of this hobby is you meet a lot of people.
Yes,
you meet a lot of people. You meet people who can afford that. You meet people with an 88 donruss budget. You meet everybody in between. I mean,
that's right.
Like I always say, as far as the National goes, you step in the room, you look around, and you see thousands of people that know what you're talking about.
I love that.
That you can say 87 Tops Wax, and nobody looks at you funny. Nobody, and depending on who you're talking to, their age, they have a visual right away in their head.
The wood grain. It's
you could say 58 Tops, and everybody, oh, I know what that is.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So there's no, and I've mentioned this on the channel, on my channel as well, that the YouTube is a beautiful format.
Right.
Because the 3 of us have never met in person. Well, no, Scott and I have. But
all 3 of us together haven't.
Right. So perfect example. When I met Scott in 19, I walked up to him. I said, "Hello, Scott."
Mm-hmm.
I did no awkwardness, no nothing, because we watched each other's channel. So, you know, that, you know, with Andy Shibani Refractor, same thing. I walked up to, hey, Andy. I never met him before. That was at 1919 also. I'd never met him before. I talked to him, you know, on these type of streams and stuff, but I never met him in person. You walk up to these people, hey, what's up? And you'll see, you know, people come up to you and say, hey, what's going on?
Right.
They'll see you at the show. Hey, what's going on, Eric? And I turn around, huh? Oh, I just watched the channel.
Yep.
That type of thing. So, you know, it opens up that whole venue. That's just great.
Yeah. Last year was the first year I've had people walk up to me that watched the channel.
Yeah.
It made things a lot real for me. And there are people out there. There's people behind those numbers.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And you know, I and now a couple of them I talk to regularly now.
Sure.
It's a good thing. And Andy gave me one of the best compliments on his channel by saying I get excited by looking at other people's cards. Yeah. Love talking about it. I get excited.
Because you learn.
Right. I've learned so much from others and just by, because there's some people out there who don't understand why, you don't collect. I'm not a vintage collector, but yes, I buy vintage.
Right.
But I love looking at vintage. I can't buy everything. You've talked that before.
Right.
I'd rather buy the cards of the players I've watched in my lifetime.
Yeah, it makes
but
sense.
I do understand the history of the game. So I love Clemente. I buy Clemente playing year cards, trying to get his run, which I love doing. But it's been a great learning experience, and that's what's really got me, like with Don and Lou Rock and Rick and some of these other people.
Yeah.
You know, we have something to talk about, and then it leads to other things in real life that you talk about. So
exactly.
Right. And I mean, and Nats, man, this is going to be his first year going.
Oh, he's gonna,
quite a few of the people that are in the house, this is their first year.
I'm so jealous.
And yeah, but man, I know you've been to every one of them.
I think Nats man is sleeping right now.
Yeah, he fell asleep, but we'll let him snooze.
Yeah.
I've been giggling at him the whole night. So.
But yeah, I mean, this is. I'm sorry, you said I was gonna. Yeah, this.
Like, when you still go in, it's still like, wow. I mean, you still have that moment when you first.
Oh yeah, every year.
Every year.
Every year, and I've been fortunate enough. I've gone every year they've had it since 2010. So
right.
You know, and it's each year it's just, you know, the first couple years all cards, and now it's people, cards, people. See my friends, make new friends. Like I think, and again, you and I, you know, we can talk about this till the end of eternity, but you can't. It's impossible to give people the idea of what it really is like.
Right. You have to see it. A couple of my friends when I was in Iowa, they're still my friends. I talk to them almost every day. They you know, I've been trying to get them to go because I go, you don't even have to buy anything. You just want to go. Just walk around and just see it for yourself. I mean, it's just
it's not like it's unlike anything else. It's unlike anything else.
Right. And you'll see stuff that you've never seen, and you see a lot of stuff that you've seen a lot of, but it doesn't matter. And then and then
I mean, where else are you going to see Babe Ruth game used bets? I mean,
no doubt. I mean, my dad doesn't collect, but we go to the Chantilly show, and that's a big vintage show there.
Yeah.
He just loves it. He's a history guy, and he's 76, and he's been watching baseball and listening to it on the radio his whole life. So he also helps me because he talks to the dealers. He got stories. He's a great storyteller. And
nice. Yeah.
So it opens up some doors for me.
Doesn't hurt.
I have to say. So yeah. So when I go in, I, I hope I can catch it on video. Just the eyes. I want to see the eyes pop like
Yes.
Christmas morning. It's.
Yeah.
I've been calling it our nerds Christmas since I've
Yeah.
been going. So
I mean,
yeah,
I am a bit jealous because it's just like the
yeah,
first time is just
yeah. It's unbelievable. Uh, this will be my sixth one, and I'm excited
nice.
like it's my first one. I've been to Atlantic City. I just never been to the show,
Right.
and I have heard all the stuff. I told people to. I don't like Atlantic City just for the fact is I don't like Atlantic City, but I'm not going there for the Atlantic City. I'm going there for the show.
Right.
So, I, you know, I,
That's what the people don't get. You can go on eBay right now and buy pretty much anything you want,
right.
but you
Yep.
can't buy friendships on eBay.
Exactly. And I mean, you're networking as well. I mean, geez, I don't know how many connections I have made
Yes,
through
exactly.
this. And I mean, you could just look at like how many lives I've done with people in the hobby, uh, and they're more than welcome. They want to come on. And
Yeah.
it's all people I've met through most of them through the Nationals. So you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, it's like that's a great point you made with the networking.
yeah,
And you never know. You never know.
right,
Like you just like you perfect. It was perfect what you said about the networking because it's you know you get to know, oh, you collect Gary Carter, so you never know, somebody might run into a rare Gary Carter. Hey, you need this one,
right.
that type
And
of thing.
and
It's
I make
people.
stacks for people all the time that I send out because I
Right.
find out who they like. And
Right. I mean, it's just a that's networking is perfect. That's perfectly said
um,
because it's like friendship networking.
yeah, and I'm not talking. Not everything networking has got to mean business, really.
Exactly. Exactly. No, I know
It's
that.
yeah. I know you know that. I just want to
But
make that
right.
clear for
Right.
everyone
I mean,
out
and
there. So
it's like one of my better friends, one of my best friends, Kirk. He says it all the time. It's a family reunion.
yeah,
He started calling it the family reunion like 9 years ago.
yeah, and
Like it
I've heard
because
people this whole week calling it that because it
just
feels like the ball is in motion right
yeah.
now. The
Because
6 week mark. It's
think
like,
about it. It really is like a family reunion because everyone gets together for 1 week a year
yep,
and talks about shit. So
yep,
it really is like a family reunion
yep,
where you just see these people. Like I don't, I live on Long Island, so I've got friends all over the country,
right,
only because of the hobby. Oh, honest and truly, just because of the hobby.
right,
Like Dustin, my best friend, my roomie, he lives in Tennessee. We talk almost every day.
yep.
I've got friends out on the West Coast. I've got
I
friends
know
in
you at least have one in Canada, if
yes,
not more.
yes, yeah, and down in Dallas, down in
Yep,
Texas.
yep,
I've always, welcome to go to visit Texas whenever I want.
yep.
And these things just happen. In the Chicago, I have some friends, and you know, it's the the other stuff, the other value added to
Hmm.
the collecting thing. Because the cards are great. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, they're just cards.
Right.
And like I said before, you're a year younger than I'm 51, so you're 49, right?
I'm 50. I'll be 51 in October.
All right, so yeah, I turned 51 in April,
Okay.
so we're pretty much the same age. And
Right.
I can only speak for myself, but I remember in the 80s, going to shows, but I used to work in a card shop too. That helped. But
Right.
when the show is over, you go home. You
Hmm.
watch TV. Maybe you put a VHS in the VCR. You watch a movie. If you were fortunate enough to have cable, you could watch some Sports Center. You know,
Hmm.
but I used to read the SCD every week, cover to cover. I used to read the Beckett's, and all that stuff. But it was more of a not an alone hobby, but It was
It's
the
great.
how it was something you had a few friends that collected. Well, again, I'm only speaking for myself, but for the most part, it was an alone hobby.
Right.
You did your cards. It was, my grandparents were happy I wasn't doing drugs. I was doing cards.
Right.
I wasn't out drinking. I was buying cards.
Right.
That type of thing. But now, it's 2022, YouTube, social media, it's more global than ever before.
Mhm.
And like I had said before, like this YouTube thing is great because you meet these friends, and that's one of the things I say to people to make content and put yourself in front of the camera. Ironically enough, I don't have my camera on, but you put yourself in front of the camera and people see you.
Right.
So, you're not just a set of hands, because if you're just a set of hands, you can walk around and no one's going to know who you are. You're not going to know anybody.
Right.
But, you know, the beauty of it is the friendship.
Yep.
Is, you'll send me a text. Hey, have you seen these before? Oh, wow. No, I haven't. That type of thing, and then I file that away. It's like, oh, that's right. Scott showed me that. And it gets filed into your brain.
I did that with the Batman, and I didn't even see the video yet of you showing your Batman card.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like, I knew he would love this. So I sent you the picture of my Batman set I picked up.
Yeah.
So I was
I
like,
mean,
yeah,
how can you not have a Batman rookie in your collection?
I just got it graded too. It's coming back this week. So,
Did you peek at it?
oh yeah,
You know
I
the
knew
grade
what
already?
got it. What's that?
You knew the grade already?
Yeah, because it's got a crease. It's a 1.5.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but I
Again,
didn't care. I got
right.
the
You have
card.
the card now. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
And so in the back, the Robin is a 4, and them two in the
Nice.
car together is a 4.
Very nice.
The bat signal. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's I kind of want to get that whole set graded slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not getting any younger.
No, and I can't for protective purposes. So the guy told me how it got creased. So a little
Hey.
upset. And I bought that cheaper than that 1.5 Batman rookie. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I surprised. I bought it at a toy show, not a card show. So
All right. All right.
yeah,
So let's focus on the cardboard that way. Yeah.
right. But I went there to look for Star Wars toys and found
Nice.
that. So
Hey,
been,
it's part of the whole process of learning, because you can
right,
you can go to a toy show
right,
and you'll have more knowledge. You can go to the National and see toys.
right,
Someone might have some toys out on the side that they know a little bit about, but you'll know more.
right.
So you never know. You can go to an antique shop and see stuff. You can, go to a flea market and see stuff. I mean, my Batman rookie I bought on Twitter. The
Mhm.
guy had it up in one of those weekly sales threads. I think it might have been the Wednesday thing, the Wednesday vintage thing.
Right.
I said, hey, you take, he's like, yeah, I think he had 50 on it. I said, would you take 35? He said, yeah. I mean, if they say no, they say no. I mean,
Right.
You don't ask, you don't get.
Right.
You can pay sticker, but why not ask?
Exactly.
I mean, the worst case scenario is you're paying sticker.
Yeah, man, I think like the first time I ever heard you was on Mike's channel.
Probably.
Collector. Way back before he got technology savvy, and I think you were on the phone and he was recording it off his phone too.
Oh, that's right.
Like what? Way back. It's been a while, and you were talking about that very thing then. So this is something you've been.
Yeah.
And I bought into that a long time ago. The Oracle type of deal came out in you then. So or whatever what's the Star Wars one that's was it JT sent you that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he made the poster. Yeah.
yeah, that was very fitting. So which me and JT talk a little bit, not as much as y'all two do, of course, but
Yeah, JT and I probably talk every day.
wow, yeah.
I'm a big JT fan.
Oh, I know. Yeah, JT. Yeah. I'm a JT fan too. He's a very, very good guy.
Yeah, I think he's got a very bright future. He's very well advanced for his age, and yeah, he's 24 now. Yeah, he's 24 now. So he's less than half our age. So
yeah,
I mean, but he's got his stuff together, and
I had him on like 2 weeks ago.
Nice.
Me and him, we had a good show, and I did one of his philosophy.
Yes, cards. Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah,
that was fun. So, but with the national coming, anything else that I mean, this is, to me, I've seen you there, knowing who you are a couple of times, and you're like the grand marshal at the New Orleans biggest parade at that thing. You walk around, you could tell you're in your element. I tell people this all the time that's never seen you there, and I've never talked to you outside of there, but this might be how you are all the time. You just ooze with enthusiasm, the glow. I'm not an aura guy, but you chest out,
yeah.
walking tall. It's just
it flourishes at the national. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I mean it's infectious and it's great. You can't help but be happy there to start with. If you're not happy at the national, you're at the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where you're supposed to be, but we'll help you get there.
Yeah, not cardboard related. That's
yeah, and I mean, and there's enough there for memorabilia. I have guys that that are
autographs and
yeah. I'm looking to get a couple. I usually get one, maybe two, every year. So it's just not the best way to use your money there. If that's what you're going for. So I did the first couple of years. I went hog wild, but kind of.
But I think that almost applies to everything there. I mean, like I had said before, like the first couple nationals, I was all about, all right, I got to get this. All right, I got to get that. I got to buy this. I need this card. I need that. And then as the years went on, don't get me wrong, I still want to look at cards, but now I want to talk to my friends. I want to make new friends. I want to spread the knowledge. I want to have like you said, I want to have a great time. I want, especially for the newbies. Pretty much anyone I've met that this is their first time, they'll say, all right, I'm coming back next year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is not the last time I'm going to the national, because they experience it, and then I tell all the new people, I say, do me a favor. Now it's your responsibility to get someone else to go for the first time.
Right.
The word of mouth is very powerful. So, you can watch videos, you can have, you can watch these influencers recaps and the high tech video crews and everything. It still is not. It doesn't. Until we get the internet in 3D, it's not gonna parlay into what it's like.
Yeah, I had people last year that are going this year with us. They wanted me to take more video, and I think they'll see now why that's not very feasible there. You can do it, you can.
But
2 or 3 deep at the tables is kind of tough.
It's kind of tough, but then again, it's more of the same.
Right.
You can only do so much with that. I mean,
mm-hmm.
With Cleveland, it was better. You could show people the Ferris wheel and everything else.
Right. Yeah.
But for the most part, you just have to go. I mean, you can't. You're gonna see stuff you don't, like you said. You're gonna see stuff you don't see anywhere else, and there'll be times where there's been a couple shows where on a Friday I'm like, oh shit, I never seen this before. I missed this part.
Right.
On a Friday, so I didn't see this part of the room. So
I did that last year on Sunday. I mean, that was kind of the first day I was by myself. I ran into you before I left, and
yeah, Sundays are usually like that.
Yeah, and I did get to see some stuff that didn't take some time at some places. I went through a lot more vintage. The guys with the books trying to
Yep.
fill up some of my Mets
Yep.
that I'm missing. So I'm making a Mets flagship set.
Yeah, I did. I have from 62 until like, when did I get bored with that? Like 2011, I think I stopped.
Okay. Yeah, I'm missing 3 in the '60s and one
You got your Choo Choo?
in the '60s. I
Your
believe so.
You got your Choo Choo Coleman 66.
I think that's the one. I'm missing 3, which it's Nolan,
Right.
Seaver, and he might be the third
Probably
one.
Choo Choo Coleman 66 dots. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very high number. It's not an easy card.
Yeah, I think every time I find it, it's like $350.
Yeah.
I
I'll
say.
put it in perspective. I have it's not graded. I have an average looking copy, and it was like $50. And I
Okay.
bought that 10 years ago.
Right. I
So
I just I don't like the Ryan. I just want to get a beater. I might just get a reprint and put it
wow.
in. But I just want a beater, man. Just a beater.
Yeah, well, that's true.
And that's going to be a $500 card.
Yeah.
I just
So
know
it's
it.
Seaver.
So, and that'll be like
Because Seaver's a high number. So
yeah, and all 3 of those. But I've been just trying to, and
Well, you've done well though. If you've got all the floating heads,
and
the 62 floating heads are a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
The
and
rookies.
I got the and I'm missing I think the 1971 Nolan Ryan. Is that correct?
With the RC Cola in the background.
Yeah, I think that's the one I'm missing for this.
That's his easy one.
So
because the 70s is a high number, the 69 is a high number.
It might be. I can't remember. I don't have it in front of me right now.
The gray border.
The gray border ones. I think I have
That's
them.
70.
70. I think it's
71 is all the black border.
Right. I have a very low in. I'm also trying to collect 71 graded because that's the year I was born. So.
Yep, I hear you. Same with me.
I've been working on that. Not really working. It's just something, if I see it, I pick. No.
I love that Clemente card, and that's it.
Yeah, and I actually have 2 of them because I needed one for the Clemente collection and one for the 71 collection.
You can never have too many Clementes.
Right. So, but man, getting to the 71, like I was picking those up for less than the base cards for like $10.
Yep.
In 2018, I think.
Yep.
17.
Yep. That sounds about right. And
I was picking them up by the handfuls at the show. I was buying out the tables.
Yeah.
And not last year.
No.
Didn't do that last year. I was like, so I'll just pass on that for right now.
Put it on the back burner.
Yeah. And because it's not something that I have to have. It's just something that I like to have. So. Yep. Well, Eric, it's been great talking to you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, this is. I'm almost sorry that I've waited this long to have you on, but I just wanted to have the right time to ask you on, and no better time is the national time. But in the future, I'll have you on for just regular chit chatting and
of course
talking and just brain picking and all of that stuff. And we'll try to keep Matt's man awake the whole time.
Yeah, we put him to sleep. We were so boring.
All right. So for everybody that's watching this, I almost forgot that I'm doing this recording and not live. Thanks for watching. Please, if you haven't, I'm going to give the spill as the subscribe. I'm almost to 500.
Nice.
I would like to get to 500. It would be a nice one. And until next time, see ya.